Hi there, it's Lori, and I decided I would tell a throwback story, one of my dad's stories, because I should have probably done it near Father's Day, but didn't think of that. Anyway, for those of you who haven't heard this story about my dad, okay. I was going through a list of which ones I was going to say. I was going to say one, but now I'm thinking, now I'm going to tell the story about what a schmoozer my dad is. When he met my stepmom, who he was married to for 45 years. I think they were together 47 or 48 years. Got married for 45 years. So he lived in an apartment building. She was moving in the apartment below his. He was headed out of state for a job. He was going to be gone for 3 to 5 days. I don't remember because I was tiny. So I only know this story from hearing it. Anyway, she was moving in. He comes down the stairs. He's about to head out of town. He grabs her, kisses her, and says, "You're beautiful. I'll take you on a date when I get back in a few days from my job." If you knew my stepmom, I am just shocked she did not smack him upside the head. But they were just so compatible. They were very different from one another, but so compatible, like true soulmate kind of things. But on paper, you'd be like, "Excuse me, what?" But no, they really were. So yeah, that's my dad. And that's, I vaguely remember, I have about this much memory of my stepmom not being part of my life because my parents divorced when I was really young. They were always friends. It was very positive. I know it's not a typical story, but anyway, I was about 3 years old when my stepmom came into my dad's life, and I will forever be grateful. So, yeah. And the only reason they're not still married is that my stepmom passed. So that's why I said they were together for 45 years. So anyway. All right. Throwback Thursday. This is made with Casa yarn. If you've ever seen Casa yarn, I got it on clearance it was when I was beginning. It's one of those moves. Oh, it was the Hobby Lobby June clearance. And I got it for like $2 a skein. Casa yarn is really unique in that it's got you'll get it's all kind of in the same tones or whatever. You'll get a big section of chenille, and then you'll get a big section of boucle, and then a big section of blanket yarn, and then a big section of fur. They're all in the same color tones as you're going to see in this project, but it is some wild yarn. I will tell you the name of the project. I won't be able to tell you the hook size. I'm sure I just did whatever it said on the Casa yarn ball as opposed to the pattern. That was kind of my norm, to just look on the ball band, see what it says, and go by that. Now I think about what I'm making, except for when I was doing knitting and used too big of needles. But that's for another day. Throwback. We're going to focus on the throwback. So I'll do a voice under, and you can see that. And then I'll come back and say my goodbyes. All right. This is actually a free pattern from Hobbii, Hobbii, and I did verify that it is still free and available on Hobbii.com or Hobbii.com, whichever one is correct. Also, I was able to find a picture of my granddaughter. She was so little at the time. She was only a year. No, she was not even a year. She was probably 3 or 4 months old here. So she doesn't look like this. So I felt comfortable sharing this picture. But you can see how my daughter used it. The way the face is in the pattern, it's like laying where the face is facing upward. But again, I was kind of a newbie, and I ended up making it so like the face was like a stuffed animal and you tilted it up. But I'm sure if we flipped it over, it would be just fine. Also, I was able to find the exact same Casa yarn. It's Bernat Casa yarn, at Hirschner's. So I'll link that. There's an Amazon link I'll put for some different colors, but the exact color I found at Hirschner's. And it was only $5 for the skein for this kind of unique yarn. That's actually probably reasonable. I believe this took 2 balls, but it might have only taken 1. I might have just said, well, it's going to be however big it's going to be. I did color control to get the feet to be all the same color. So I was cutting out the boucle, and the boucle I was using for that section, the bumpy yarn, if you don't know what boucle means. So yeah, I'm really happy with the results. My grandson used it. They still play with it. I thought I had brought it over to show, but I must have, it's either packed in all my yarn bags, or I didn't actually bring it home, and it's still sitting at my daughter's house with my grandkids, because, you know, if you take things, they notice. So I have to ask my granddaughter if I can borrow something, and I have to promise to bring it right back. It's actually quite hilarious. So yeah, that's where it is. And that yarn is really interesting. I believe CNY Woman Loves Yarn Therapy, Mindy, just made a whole blanket out of Casa yarn. I do not recall what color. So I'm pretty confident she did. It was actually, you know, I was relatively beginner at that point. It was fairly easy to work with. The color control was kind of easy to do because the breaks or the changes in the yarn are very obvious because they're completely different types of yarn. But I think that's about the only place I color controlled. I might have pulled all the boucle out and joined just for that purpose. I wish I could remember, but I crocheted most of this on a road trip to see my oldest stepdaughter in California. Yeah, I'm pretty confident that's correct. Because this was the middle of summer of 2022, or early summer 2022. And yeah, so I made that while I was in the car. Made me think of Racine. Racine is happiness. Racine in happiness. I'll put her channel down below. Anyway, that's the story. That funny squeak is my chair cushion, so not anything to see here. Just being silly. Okay, I'll see you in a second to say goodbye. Thanks for coming in. Can I get an amen? Hugs from me, my potato head. Hugs from me. Whatever kind of hug you need. Even if it's a hug from a distance. And remember, you matter and kindness matters. I really hope to see you again soon. Bye.